Welcome to another episode of DCU Daily. We're gonna do a little bit of the news off the top. Of course, my name is Dan, and I'm here to give you the latest from the world of DC, as well as, of course, a little bit of Marvel. We're gonna talk about some other stuff from the movie world, including Sonic the Hedgehog. We gotta get into some stuff that Matt Reeves said about the Batman, and I'm sure there's lots more beyond that. We've got a packed show for you today. Sorry about the little glitch there at the beginning. But now that we are past it, let me welcome it on in. John, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for asking. Sorry, I had to do a dramatic opening. I gotta switch it up. I'm doing great. I'm getting.
Dude, I thought your camera was off. I'm like, why is there a black screen? What is going on here? What is going on here?
Not quite the. It looked better backstage, but that's okay. We're here.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. We started the show and then my camera was like, "Oh, F you, I'm gonna go take a vacation." Or my internet connection, mortal. Yeah. But anyway,
that's how it is.
That's usually how it goes.
I remember the worst thing that happened to me, obviously not on this stream, but on one of my personal streams. I on the Cool Kids channel, I legit lost power in the middle of the fucking stream, and I couldn't I had to get it back in on my phone to shut the stream off.
You know what I do? So for this reason, I have multiple hotspots and I have Starlink as well as Comcast to make sure that I've got redundancy, because I've usually got multiple streams running at the same time. There's like something going on back there. There's of course this going on right now, so I gotta make sure
it's crazy.
Plenty of backup.
Oh my god, on my old computer it was the worst. It was like when I started doing streams, like whether it be personally or like with people, like again way before I did this, like it just my old computer, like it was I would like my camera would never work. I would like my clips would never play properly. I would cut out like in the middle, something went wrong, blah blah blah. And there was another time on my old computer where like I just cut out and I could not get back in, even on my phone. But like I finally managed to get in there and close the stream down. But it was just it was the worst. But now I got a new computer and my Wi-Fi just is kind of terrible every once in a while. But anyway, we've filibustered for too long. Now that we're getting the people in here. Now we got the
Derpy's already
shit out of the way.
Yeah,
let's go.
Derpy's already in the chat, and of course, Man of Steel Magnolia is there. Hello to both of y'all. Derpy, we haven't gotten to the Matt Reeves topic yet, but we will. We will get there, and so I'll note down your comment, and we will definitely talk about it when we get to it. But as we've been doing recently, let's start off with the news. What's been going on in the world of Hollywood today, John? So to kick things off, I'm gonna bring in a story that, quite frankly, made me crack up for a good hour after I read it.
I was too dumbfounded. Like I was like looking at this, like I was rereading. I'm like, is this from an Onion article? Like,
I know,
is this
right?
From the Onion? Is this from like Babylon Bee? Is this from like fucking just like Hard Disk News, whatever the fuck, this looks like a joke.
It's crazy. I mean, like, for if you guys are listening, like, let me kind of read out to you what's on the screen here. Basically, I came across this on my Threads feed, and I was like, huh. So Armie Hammer will star in Uwe Boll's new film, The Dark Knight. Oh, not that The Dark Knight, but the film follows. Get this, a vigilante who hunts down criminals. Okay, all right. So not that Dark Knight, cool. And then there's a quote in there which says, "Our movie is very different from Chris Nolan's movie, so there's no danger of confusion." And I was just
there's a danger of like copyright infringement, but WB just getting ready to fucking sue them into oblivion, like.
Dude, it's crazy because I'm like, I literally read this and then I was just like trying to contain my laughter because I was like, I have no idea how serious this is, if this is a prank. Is it April 1st already?
Fucks with people a lot, so I wouldn't shock me. But if it's real, I would love to see them like W being like, you can't use the Dark Knight. Like,
I'm like, John, like, you know what, to me the thing about this that is the weirdest thing of all is, don't you worry, my friend Yue, nobody is gonna confuse this movie with Christopher Nolan's movie, because nobody is gonna be running to see this movie.
Yeah,
Like the
because you're
dark, like,
considered one of the
what?
worst directors, if not the worst intentional director of all time. Like, say what you will about Tommy Wiseau, at least his like movies are like ironically funny. None of your movies are ironically funny. They're just bad. And you're considered one of, if not the worst director who has in cinema history, worse than Ed Wood. Like, at least Ed Wood has like a charm to him. Uwe Boll just makes bad movies, and he literally did it because of tax loopholes in Germany. That's literally the only reason why he fucking made movies. So like, it's just hilarious to me. But it would be so funny if like W became like, okay, guys, you can't use the Dark Knight. It's like, okay, well, we'll do this. Like they'll spell like the dark. It'll be like DARQUE and
Yeah.
AINIGHT. The
Uh,
Night. It's like a fucking, and then it'll be like an asylum movie or some shit. And it kind of sucks. It's like, oh, Army Hammer's finally playing the Dark Knight after so long.
Finally, oh
Not
god,
the real
yeah, the fan
Batman, like he was
cast.
intentional in Justice League Mortal, which could have been a great movie, but and I will say Army Hammer like back then could have made a good Batman. It's just like he's
Right,
also
yeah.
a piece of fucking shit
I
and
mean,
a cannibal. So, but it's just like I love how like Army Hammer's like, okay, here's my comeback. I'm gonna fucking come back in an Uwe Boll film. It's like, dude, what are you fucking smoking?
it's
It's like it's like I'm gonna have a return in a fucking like Tommy Wiseau movie. It's like, what? At least with like Brendan Fraser, he's like, okay, I'm gonna be in Doom Patrol, and then I'm gonna be in a fucking Martin Scorsese movie, and then I'm gonna be in a Christopher Nolan movie, and then so it's like Brendan Fraser at least like tried to like bob and weave, or like Darren Aronofsky that got him his
Mhm.
Oscar. Like he knew what director, like Armie Hammer's like Uwe Boll. It's like, and Manos, to answer your question, Uwe Boll is like famously made horrible video game adaptations. Blood Rain, Alone in the Dark, House of the Dead. He also made Seed. He made Rampage, and a couple sequels to that. He made Postal. He just like none of his movies are good, like at all. Like all of them are terrible, terrible movies. So
I mean, you gotta start somewhere, right? I mean, like, by the way, before I go any further, I wanted to welcome on in, obviously, Manos Time. We got Manolo in the chat now, and what the Watcher is here. The Watcher's watching. I wonder who's watching the Watcher. Derpy's here, of course. Man of Steel Magnolia, as I pointed out earlier. But yeah, you know what? I looked at this and I was like, you know what? Maybe I've got a few taglines for them. Army Hammer as the vigilante who hunts down criminals. He could hammer some bad guys. Maybe he can fight
no,
an
and
army
they'll
of
even go down to like
criminals.
they'll even go down to the tagline: "Greetings from a place uh without etiquette." Like that, it's just like trying to like using the tagline from Dark
Yeah.
Knight, just like trying to. Oh, it's like almost the same, right? Just really hammering in like the fucking
Eh.
like similarities, and it's just like,
It's
oh.
crazy. It's like what you said earlier. I'm like, Army Hammer almost went like, fine, I'll do it myself. You're not gonna cast me as Batman. I'm just gonna make my own, and it's just
And
crazy.
not
It's
even
like,
get a good
yeah.
director, just get
Oh God,
Uwe Boll.
Uyghur, yeah, yep, yep. And you know what? Once he's done hunting the criminals, he's just gonna eat them for scraps. That's that's how Army. That's his finishing move. You know, Army Hammer's gonna hunt down some criminals as a Dark Knight, not the Batman, but a Dark Knight. Um, no, Hunter, he should not return to the DCU. He was never in the DCU. He could just no. I would prefer that he stay away. We do not need that PR. The Watcher saying, "Well, I am a multiversal entity, so technically, the only one left to watch me is God." Well, fair enough. I guess that
Well,
depends
too
on
late. Morbius already killed God, so
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of part of canon now. So Yeah, Y Arc 9 saying the DC lawyers better get on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this movie will get sued. Because it's not that Dark Knight. Nobody's gonna confuse it with Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. There's no danger of that. But it is a movie that follows a vigilante who hunts down criminals, and
At
it is
least with
called The
like,
Dark Knight. I'm like,
at least like, okay, like you could
crazy.
make like, it could be like iffy, like Dark Knight, like it's a act like about like a knight from like
Yeah.
medieval times,
Yep.
and he like loses his code of honor and becomes a dark knight. Like he becomes a darker, like you could do that, but it's like no, we're just straight up doing a superhero, and it's also called the Dark Knight, and it's like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, as the watcher's pointing out, there's probably some copyright issues here just right off the bat that they'll have to worry about. So, but hey, you know what? With that said, good luck to Army Hammer. You know, he can go hammer the criminals, fight an army of them, and then eat them for scraps. But until then, we will switch focus to a little bit of Marvel-related news. Of course, tomorrow Liz is on the show, so we will get more of that. But today, I wanted to just kind of take a look at this. They released this new shot from the movie, and it's like part of a I think it's part of a larger commercial for Tide, and it's of course it's the Hulk, or Red Hulk rather, trying to well, not trying, he's pretty much succeeding in taking out, it seems like, Captain America. It's nice how they did that though. I mean, the commercial's a little cheesy, I get it, but I looked at this and I was like, oh, that's funny. Of course, you've got Red Hulk against
Yeah, and
Captain America, who
it's actually really
doesn't even
funny
have
because the
superpowers.
visual effects don't look better than a shitty commercial, so it works.
I mean, this is also a lower resolution version of it, so I'm sure it will look better when we see it in the movie
I'm
theaters. But
sure that's the
I
case.
do like wonder
Yeah, a
like
movie that's
how.
like a month away, it'll look way better
I mean, look, they've been putting out so many things for this movie. Clearly,
because
they
they're trying so
know.
hard to get fucking people to watch this garbage.
Well, I know because this is what I'm saying. The whole thing about this movie seems to be they know that the way to get people to come watch this and to basically make at least some of the money back that they spent on this movie is to bombard them with marketing, because it's not the kind of movie where you can put out one trailer and then wait another 4 months to put out the second one, like maybe what James Gunn is gonna do with Superman. They need this movie to be front and center in people's minds all the time. Like there were all kinds of antics with Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan at the Golden Globes over the weekend, with taking jabs at each other and like the we won, and Anthony Mackie comes out and backstage when Sebastian Stan won a Golden Globe for I forgot what he won it for, but it wasn't The Apprentice, it was a different movie, but it's clearly that there, and of course Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie presented an award where Harrison Ford actually looked legitimately pissed at Anthony Mackie for something. But I just find it interesting because, like, John, like, do you think this Captain America, Anthony Mackie's, Falcon turned Captain America, like, can Sam even take those kind of hits from a Hulk and
That's
get up and keep walking? Like,
that's the key here because it's
you
like
know,
I thought it was like going to be a plot point here that he got the super soldier serum, and I got that information wrong, as Liz loved to fucking keep reminding me and wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. So I thought he took the super soldier serum. I thought maybe he took it in like either Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or he is going to take it in this movie, because no fucking way can a normal human being take those fucking hits.
hmm
Like even with like an armored suit and all that shit, your head is still bobbing around on your neck. Like even if you could wear your seatbelt in your car and jerk forward and get a concussion.
yeah.
Like that's what I remember there. Pete Holmes, our favorite Batman. Hey, your neck, that's a little chilly. Anyway, but he was talking about how he got a concussion where he was like, he wore his seatbelt in his car and he like jerked forward. He like stopped the
hmm
belt stopped him, and then his brain kept going and hit his own skull, and he
hmm
got a concussion. So it like there's no fucking way that like this dude, this Hulk, even if he is
Yeah, that's the
less
movie.
superpowered than
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
It's
I,
the movie that Sebastian Stan won the Golden Globe for.
no, I
But yeah,
know. I
yeah.
but I don't know why you're saying that. I already knew that already.
No, I think is I couldn't tell the difference. I was like, it's not The Apprentice, but yeah, and then you mentioned
Yeah.
anyway.
So no way that like a normal
Yeah.
dude could like get up from like what it's like. It's but it's also like Home Alone 2 logic where Marv can get like 5 bricks to the head,
Yeah.
like from a 2-story building and live. So it's like, I guess there is some suspension. It is a superhero movie.
Dude, oh my
There is
god,
some
yes.
suspension of disbelief, but it's also like, I don't know, but
Yeah,
like,
I know, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Again, at the end of the day, it's a superhero
Eat
movie.
brick,
Nobody's really
kid.
thinking hard about this, but like, I
Yeah,
think it'll be
love
fine.
it. Yep. Yeah, I love the Home Alone logic. That's a good comparison. Yep. Eat brick, kid. What are you talking about, Marv? How many fingers am I holding up? It's great.
I don't care
So
what
good.
anybody says.
So good.
That whole scene from Home Alone 2
It's
with
so
them
good.
like
Dude,
taking
I'm
over
always
is better than
to the point
one,
of
like easily.
Yeah. To the
Anyway.
I'm every time I see that scene, like I literally just watched the movie, like both the Home Alones again, for the Christmas holidays, and every time I'm just like dying laughing at the end of that scene.
Those
and it's
scenes
just
make the movie. Like the rest of the movie's like fine.
It's great, but that's what you're there for. That's the main event. Like it's like
that's why I watched like Home Alone 2 like year round, is because those scenes are just so fun. Like how he fucking like, oh no, I can't get, my head's on fire, I can't get water from the sink, let me just do a full-on handstand into the toilet. Don't like just like dunk my head in, just no, handstand that bitch. Like,
because that's what Joe Pesci would do, of course, you know, because he is acrobatic like that. But anyway, you know, speaking of acrobatic, we know that Spider-Man is very acrobatic, John, and we know that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is a show that you were quite excited about. They just put out some new promotional art for it, and
I'm the
it
only
looks
person
beautiful.
that's excited for it, apparently.
I mean, to me, I'm curious. I'm probably not gonna end up watching every episode because it's not necessarily. It's like animated Spider-Man. You know, it has to, like look. I personally like the '90s one. That's my touch point, but I'm not saying that's necessarily the best one objectively. But to me, I haven't really been able to catch on to any of the Spider-Man series since, and that's mostly because, you know, I think I grew out of the you know, what the target audience for that. But it looks good. I mean, the artwork looks fantastic. Like, did you take a look at this? What did you think about this artwork?
I think it's pretty cool. Like, I like the vibe. I mean, I like the white suit. I forget the specific name for the suit, but I do like the black and white suit. But I like the look. I like the vibe. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot, but it's probably gonna suck. But
dude,
like,
you know what I remember? Cool. That, you know, was it like, this is years ago? I think I had that Spider-Man game for PC, and in that game you could get the white suit, and like you could play as Spider-Man with the white suit. I'm just forgetting. I think it might have been like one of the first Spider-Man video games they put out back in the day. Somebody let us know in the live chat if you guys know what I'm talking about. I just remember that. I was like, it takes me all the way back to, like, I don't know how old I must have been back then. But we got Carter Blake in the chat. He's saying too much childish people on here. What's wrong with having some fun? It's Home Alone, man. I enjoy Home Alone.
The fucking door is right there, Carter. All right. Fucking Carter Blake. You sound like a fucking trust fund baby. Get the fuck out of here, you loser. Anyway.
Yeah. John will take you down. Yeah.
Well, I work a 6-figure job. I'm very important. You know, why don't you fucking eat this dick, asshole? If I want to get excited about Home Alone, I will happily get excited about Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
So eat a dick.
Yep. John,
there you go. Perfect timing. Dan with the banners. Let's go.
Yep. Well, you know, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man comes out on Disney Plus soon. We know that.
Future Foundation suit. Thank you, Watcher. That was the suit. Because the thing is, I remember all these suits from Marvel Spider-Man, but I don't remember the specific
the names for them. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Thank you very much.
And Manos, yes, Home Alone is a classic for a reason. You know, it's the first 2 movies. You can't beat them. I actually like the 3rd one as well. I think it's the 4th one when the quality starts to really dip. But anyway,
I will say the 3rd one does have a really funny, like, breaking in scene. It's pretty funny.
It is. Well, I love the part where the guy gets electrocuted on the chair outside in the snow. That's in his hair. That gets me. Like, you know, in the second movie, Marv goes over to the, or is it Marv?
And he becomes a skeleton.
They get the skeleton. It's so good. Yeah, I love it. It's so good. It's another one of those, like, just absolutely just rolling on the floor laughing.
But I'm excited for Spider-Man Noir. That looks really good.
I mean,
But
also
anyway,
like I haven't gotten into Spectacular Spider-Man, but I know several people who have loved that show.
this will get people to watch your friendly
I know,
neighborhood.
that's what I was gonna say.
They'll watch the
So
trailer and then fuck off.
just even if you don't want
Artificially
to
boost
watch
those numbers.
the actual Spider-Man TV show, maybe you'll tune in to get a peek at the first trailer for Daredevil Born Again. That is a good. I think that's enough for you to kind of get I don't know, signed up for a $7, $8, whatever the base plan for Disney Plus costs these days.
Probably
Um,
$10.
and they keep raising the shit out of it. I'm like, there's, and it
Piracy
was
is gonna
coming.
become
When it
huge
was
again
six ninety
in
nine,
like a
it was
year.
like they were always gonna raise that thing through the roof. We got Ron dropping in. Hello, Ron. Sup? What's up? What's up?
Ron,
Um,
Ron Weasley. Anyway,
God, oh my God.
remember Potter Puppet Pals? Good
Dude,
times.
I brought that up the other day with Fiona, and she was like, "What are you talking about?" She's not a big Potter, so
What?
I know, right? I know. I had
What?
to show her the Potter Puppet Pals because I'm like, dude, this is OG YouTube shit right here. But anyway,
Yeah, Neil Cicierega. He's still
he's
doing
still
shit.
exactly.
He has a band, Lemon Demon. He does his own music. It's great.
But hey, guys, let us know if you are excited again for the Daredevil Born Again trailer. It's gonna be releasing before your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and I think from the sounds of this, they mean that it's gonna play before the first episode. So if you click onto it on Disney Plus, it may just also be that a day or two before the show releases on Disney Plus that the trailer will get put out. So
Right.
it's coming. It's coming very soon, and I know a lot of us are excited about it. Carter is excited about Spider-Man Noir, which looks nice. The behind-the-scenes photos look nice. I wonder if the show is gonna be good. If hopefully it's more like the Spider-Man, no, the Venom movie than it is like Madam Web or Morbius. Because I mean, but hey, you know what? It's got Nick Cage in it, and he's gonna Nick Cage it up. So I'm excited, and I would take it. Now, speaking of Nick Caging it up, I don't know why that's a good transition. It probably is not, but The Last of Us is coming back for the season 2, April of this year. John, is this a show that you have been watching and
No,
following along? Did you play the
no,
video game The Last of Us?
no,
Are you
no.
excited to see America's Daddy back?
I'm excited to see him in like Fantastic Four,
Got
but
Jeffrey Wright
not.
in there, of course, Commissioner Gordon. You've
No,
got
and then we're
Hawk
gonna
Girl in
get
there, Isabella Merced.
and then we're gonna get Neil Druckmann's fantasy fucking Abby with Golf Simulator. That's gonna be great. I feel so bad for like unsuspecting Last of Us fans who don't know anything about the video games and just watch the show and then are just gonna watch the biggest pile of dog shit get fucking adapted into the
Well,
season 2 and
but dude,
possibly season 3, and it's just like like not gonna lie, I kind of feel bad, like, because my friend who played Last of Us Part 2, and he's like, it's one of the worst games I've ever played, and he was like, he's like, I'm like, you're gonna fucking punish yourself, aren't you? He's like, I'm gonna punish myself. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. He's like, yes, I know I'm a fucking idiot, but I gotta watch it. I'm like, why? You don't have to do anything. He's like, I'm gonna do it. You're fucking idiot, dude. Come on, why are you doing this to yourself? He's like, I gotta do it. I'm like, you don't, but you don't, man. You don't. You don't have to sacrifice your sanity for this shit. They don't deserve it.
well, I mean, look, the new season is coming out. We know now that it's going to come out in April. The trailer is out there. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I mean, look, it did win Game of the Year, like Ron said, and they are splitting the second game into like 2 or 3 seasons now. So
it's gonna be like, I think they said it's gonna be 2 seasons.
yeah, they're gonna
Because they
stretch
just
it
want,
out.
because Neil Druckmann,
Yeah,
Neil Cuckman just wants to fucking just abuse his audience as much as he possibly can.
yeah.
Because he hates us.
Well, John, let's quickly kind of move on to the next story because I wanted to get your opinion on this because I know that you were a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And there were obviously rumors and even like some reporting that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 got greenlit before. Now, the third movie isn't doing as well as I think a lot of people wanted it to. Mufasa has kind of like raced past it now at the box office, but it's still, closing in on 400 million, so not too bad. And now we are hearing that Paramount Pictures is prepping Sonic the Hedgehog 4, and they're anticipating a 2027 release, a spring 2027. And yeah, I mean, what are your expectations for this? Are you excited about getting another Sonic the Hedgehog? And also, they're not wasting any time. This might come out before the Batman too.
They said it's gonna come out in 2027, I believe. So I'm stoked for it. I think it's, whatever. I mean, they promised us some great stuff. Um, I hope Robotnik doesn't come back. I hope that, like, at most he'll be a cameo. It's just like I feel like there's other characters and other villains that they can use that are that would be suitable for this. I mean, they're already doing Metal Sonic. They're going to bring in Amy. My friend who's a big Sonic fan has said that like I feel like they're gonna like adapt parts of Sonic CD because that's when Amy and Metal Sonic were introduced. So I'm gonna go with that because he knows best. And it's also possible that since Sonic CD involves time travel, they might bring in Silver so they don't have to adapt like the shittiness of Sonic 06, where he was actually introduced. So because he's from the future, so I think that could be a lot of fun. So whatever they decide to do, I'm stoked for it. It just as long as everybody's coming back. I hope it's just the main three. Like as much as I would love to see Keanu again, I hope like he kind of does his own thing because I know like they're like, oh, I know Idris said he's like, oh, I want to do like a Shadow Knuckles spinoff, and I think that would be good. I wouldn't want him to have like a super prominent role because he doesn't really have a prominent role in the games as much. So I think it would be really cool if they have that. I think Amy is good enough for an ally. They could introduce Rouge the Bat, because I know that there was like I forget who. I think it was another friend of mine who said this. They're like, oh, Kristen Ritter's character is like a disguised Rouge the Bat. And I'm like, that's an interesting theory. I'm like, okay, they could probably go for that. But whatever they decide to do, I think I think it'll be great. I think it'll be awesome. The last three movies have been like this trilogy, even though it's not really a trilogy because they already greenlit a fourth movie, but like so far for the next 2 years, it's going to be a trilogy, and this trilogy just keeps getting better and better. It started out as kind of like an okay buddy comedy type of thing, and then they played it safe, and now they have like they adapted parts of the lore more and more. Like Sonic 3 was essentially like a very loose adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2, which is considered one of, if not the best Sonic game of all time. So I think that's awesome. So whatever they
Yeah.
decide to do, I think it'll be great as long as they kind of double down on the aspects that made Sonic 3 work and get rid of the ones that didn't, mainly the bad and cringy comedy,
Yeah.
but whatever. I'm still excited. I'm really excited for it.
I mean, all you guys in the chat are too. Like the Watcher is like saying Ritter as Rouge would be peak. I think that would be also, yeah, I agree with you there. The Watcher saying Sonic 3 is doing very well and would have done better, but Disney hogged all the premium screens. Yes, that is true. I mean, there's a lot of competition, and unfortunately, when Disney's in the conversation, a lot of times they end up getting to eat the bigger chunk of the pie. We've got Kevin in the chat as well. I just wanted to say hello to Kevin. For him, The Last of Us season 1 was just okay. And all he much like us just wants good storytelling from Marvel. Take risks, but make sure that you're telling a good story.
Yep.
A Shadow movie spinoff would make bank, says the Watcher. I mean, potentially. I mean,
Just
they
don't
did do that
adapt
spinoff
the
TV
Shadow the
series.
Hedgehog game because I heard that's
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah. Well, but also, Manos Time with a nice comment there regarding the Sonic franchise. Hope that they don't do the Knuckles way and make a series based on a Sonic character, even though they focused on a less interesting character. I know that series that they did on Paramount Plus didn't do as well as they thought they would, but I don't think it was as good as the movies, so that's probably why. But the franchise overall, with 3 movies in, has now crossed $1 billion at the worldwide box office,
Whoop,
Sean.
whoop.
So Sonic is $1 billion movie franchise. Now, it's not like one of those movie franchises where every movie's making $1 billion or even $500 million. Like the newest one is up to like 400 some odd million, or I think it's either just crossed it or is right at the threshold, which is not a bad number. I mean, it's kind of like, the John Wick franchise where the movies do really well considering the amount of money they're putting into them. They're profitable. They're not really like going out there and making $1 billion every time, but they're certainly making enough to justify, more of them being made. I know that some people have, some criticisms for the newest ones. There's been conversation about whether Jim Carrey will come back as Robotnik in the fourth movie, considering, how the story plays out in the third film. But given that it just crossed $1 billion, I think it's almost a no-brainer
This is
that
great.
Paramount is going with the fourth
Like this
one. So,
should have been DOA with that ugly Sonic design, but now You know, the fucking autistic Sonic fans bullied them into fucking making a better design, delayed the movie properly, and we got something great out of it. So, you know, I'm happy for that we got a good franchise out of this, and one of the few like consistent video game adaptations of all time. Like we're getting some good shit. Ironically, when like video game media is pretty much at its peak right now,
Yep.
unfortunately, Uwe Boll has to fucking come in and ruin things out of his fucking retirement. So, you know, that's unfortunate. But let's hope he just works on his shitty original movies that rip off DC characters and just leave video games alone.
Yeah, just leave it to James Gunn. He's doing a good job. Plus he's got the permission from
Snyder
Warner
fans
Brothers.
enter the chat.
Yeah. But the Watcher saying that they love the diehard fans love the Shadow game, including of course the Watcher. The story is awesome, and that would be a key adaptation for a Shadow movie. And Sonic Heroes more of a the two combined would be good. Yeah. So I'm sure we're gonna get in. They
Well,
already
the thing is,
introduced
I
the
haven't
villain of the
played the
next
game,
movie.
so if
Yeah.
you say it's good, then I'll trust you. I've just heard like a lot of people say it's bad, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I've never played it. I can't actually judge it. But if you're saying it's good, I'm happy for you. And if you think that most people say it's good, then I'm happy for them. I don't know. I'm not a. I like know some of the lore, and that's kind of it. I
Yeah.
played a little bit of Sonic and the Black Knight. I got 5 minutes in, and I'm like, this game sucks, and then I shut it off. So that's the extent of my Sonic knowledge. So
Now, speaking of animation, John, anime is a genre that's continuing to boom, and
yes.
Sony has a big presence in that space. Of course, Paramount's doing their thing with Sonic the Hedgehog, and they of course have Transformers One this past year, which didn't do very well at the box office, but hey, it was actually a pretty good movie. Now, Sony on the other hand is doubling down through their Crunchyroll streaming service on anime. So there's of course
Mhm.
a lot of good anime on there already. It's not the kind of anime where they're adapting a Batman story into an anime or anything like that. It's really just iconic original anime based on manga and sometimes just original anime altogether. Including now, of course, this is an announcement directly from Sony. This comes to us on their Threads account. They announced that the Ghost of Tsushima Legends is getting an anime adaptation and is going to bring epic battles and untold samurai stories to life in 2027, the same year as the next Sonic movie is going to come out, and it's going to premiere exclusively on Crunchyroll. John, what are your thoughts on this? Is this something that excites you? Have you heard of the Ghost of Tsushima before? Are you
Oh,
looking
I know
forward
Ghost
to
of
this
Tsushima.
when it comes out?
I got like a demo on my PS4 and then but I never played it. Now it's not available because I canceled my PlayStation Plus. But I know of Ghost of Tsushima. I know how fucking amazing it is. A lot of people are excited for the sequel. So I know I've heard it's just absolutely legendary and it's ripe for a good adaptation. Um yeah, like that. I it's just like a well done and well made story, and I think it's ripe for a lot of good stuff as long as they like stay true to the source material, respect the source material, then it should be okay.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then it might be like the Yakuza TV show
Ooh.
uh
Um.
on Prime.
But hey, look, this is Sony. Sony usually gets the stuff right. Crunchyroll is a streaming service that is practically heaven if you are an anime fan. And to add
Mhm.
something like this in there, like the Watcher is saying, 2026, 2027 are gonna be just amazing years if you're just a fan of genre entertainment, especially. Whether it's video games, anime, movies, TV series, it's gonna be packed. I mean, even this year is packed. Manos Time saying they're also making a live action movie on the Ghost of Tsushima. That I would be interested in seeing just how good the visuals can be because it's like adapting anime to live action is such a tricky thing. Most of the time, you don't get it right because you have to do it in a way that's artful, that's true to the source material, and yet it's not limiting or downplaying like the artwork and just the animation style. Like you have to sort of honor the anime and build
Yeah.
on it and do something original. It's you have to do so many different things to kind of balance out all of those
Right.
things. It's hard to do. I
It is.
appreciate the difficulty in it, and so I sometimes when you see an anime live action adaptation that isn't so good, I'm like, look, they tried, and not every time are they gonna get it right, but hopefully that live action movie looks just as good as the game, and now hopefully the anime looks fantastic too. I'm excited for that. I know you guys are excited for that. Of course, this brings our news of the day to a close. So if you have been watching, just drop your comments down below on all the
Don't worry,
different
we're
stories.
not ending the show, by the way. It's
We're
just
continuing
news
on with
section of the
DCU
show.
Daily, of course. But, in the meantime, hit that like button if you haven't already, and hit subscribe and the notification bell so you know when we are live, because we are here 5 days a week.